Okay. All right. So welcome everyone. Welcome to the 52nd New Jersey I-Day. My name's Patrick Stokes. I am the president of the Central Jersey CPCU Society chapter. And on behalf of myself and Laura Panesso, the president of the New Jersey chapter, welcome and thank you for joining us. I'm going to go through a little bit of a speech and then I'm going to pass it off. We'll celebrate our new designees. So number one, thank you to our sponsors, Chubb, Munich Re, NJM, ISO Verisk, Prime Source Investigations, Personal Development Solutions, Treadstone Risk Management, and Rider University. Many of you are repeat sponsors. We really appreciate it, and you make this conference possible. Especially, welcome to Rider University. So we had developed a partnership with them. They are the next generation of talent we have in the industry. They're vital to our success going forward. So for all the students that are on the line or that will be listening to this recording, feel free to connect with me, any of the other chapter leaders, or through our social media channels, and we'll be happy to discuss the opportunities in the industry with you. Thank you to the Central Jersey and New Jersey boards. And the I-Day Planning Committee. This conference absolutely would not be possible without all of your selfless donations of time and energy. This was a very challenging event to pull off. We luckily made the decision early in the year to just bite the bullet and go full virtual. I think we made the right decision. And so far, everything has been going really well. So thank you to everyone for sticking with us and helping us get to this point. Next, thank you to our keynote speakers, Megan Watt, Christine Prendergast, and Carol Voorhees. Can't wait to hear your presentation. And also to our conferring officer, Sharon Koches. She's the CPCU Society President-elect. So thank you for helping us celebrate the new designees today. So we just finished hearing from Rob Galbraith about the end of insurance as we know it. Yesterday, we had some really awesome conversations about diversity and inclusion and ethics from Amy Waninger and also Rita Williams-Bogar. In a few minutes, we'll kick off the actual conferment ceremony and the keynote discussion. After lunch, after the keynote, we'll have a brief lunch break for everyone so we can check our email. And then we will have 7 more sessions. It's a mixture of educational content, actual specific insurance content, and some personal development sessions. And then lastly, for anyone that's still with us at 4 o'clock, we're gonna fire back up this session and we'll have some virtual networking and a little debrief. So before we begin, I just wanna say a few words about why CPCU is so important for me. So I earned my designation back in 2012. And at first I was going to the meetings, but I wasn't actively participating. And it wasn't until the last few years that I really started to speak up and get involved. So eventually I started asking questions and learned how I could actively participate in the chapter. So there's a lot of extra benefits that you gain, not just from earning the designation and proving that you're one of the top leaders in the industry. There's also a lot of intangibles that come with this society and with the community. So the number one is the community. The community of peers that we have cultivated in the industry is second to none. We are all dedicated to our craft and committed to excellence. Within this community, there are sub-networks of professionals across every technical domain, across the country, across the world, with all different skill sets. I've only recently realized just how important that is, knowing that I can pretty much tap into my network and reach someone that has a skill, a talent, or that knows something about an area that I want to learn more about. So those connections are absolutely invaluable. It really gives new meaning to the words networking. And as I like to say cordially, I have a guy for that. There's pretty much someone I can find 1 or 2 connections deep that can connect me with anything I need to find out. So those connections are invaluable. They'll be great for everyone's future careers or just to learn more about an area that you need to brush up on. Secondly is the notion of servant leadership. So I heard this mentioned in one of the sessions yesterday, and it's really important. So everyone involved in CPCU are volunteers. We're all giving our time to benefit our peers and the industry as a whole. There's so many opportunities available to everyone in the CPCU and those that are still just on their path forward to develop skills in leadership through the interest groups, through writing articles in the publications, and also even speaking at the events. So whether it's a local I-Day, whether it's into risk, there's so many opportunities to be involved. As Matt will tell us later, spread your brand and just connect with your peers and get further involved in the industry. So lastly, before I turn it over to Laura, I just want to say, we are in the insurance industry. We are the ones that protect society at their worst times. That's what the entire industry, that's what the insurance promise is all about. So with all the craziness in the world going on, I just want to say, let's commit to taking care of each other so that when we need to take care of our insureds and our customers, that we're there for them. So we'll be here to fulfill the promise in every policy. We stand for what the insurance industry, the best of it. So with that, I will say, Laura, the floor is yours, and we'll celebrate the designees.
Great, thank you, Pat. And it is my pleasure to present to everyone our new designees for 2020 who should be in attendance or registered for the event. So if you'd like to put your camera on and wave to everyone, that would be awesome. I present to you Michael Hunterton, Rachel Ruiz, Robert Trowinski, Scott Francis, Josephine Novak, Jonathan Velto, and Avi Wilhelm. Congratulations to the class of 2020.
And Laura, I believe we have Hillary Price. Hillary, are you a new designee? And Hillary Price is with us also.
Welcome, congratulations.
Congratulations. Well,
Hillary,
thank you. Oh, so, go ahead.
I'm sorry, Sherry. Hillary, were you our new designee from out of state?
New York.
From
Not that far. I'm in Manhattan.
That's awesome. I thank you very much for
But I
attending.
work in the Jersey City office at Chubb, so
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, thank you all for the opportunity to participate in the celebration on your important day today. Tom Woods, our current society president, could not be here, and he also sends his congratulations and best wishes. We certainly wish we could be in person together to celebrate, but we all make do, right, in these crazy times of ours. I want to say thank you to all the new designees for your commitment to our industry, to your organizations, and to your own professional development and growth. And many thanks to those who supported you, your employers, your family, your mentors and coaches, and anyone else that helped to support you. Some of you, even your children, I'm sure, sat there and studied with you. But even with these additional challenges that 2020 brought to us, you rose to the challenge, and we're so proud of you for your accomplishments. So, acting by the authority of the Board of Trustees of the Institutes, I hereby confer upon each of you the professional designation of CPCU, and I'm sure you all have your diplomas by now, right? So your diploma entitles you to all the rights and privileges of the CPCU designation. The CPCU designation is protected by force of law throughout the United States and has been conferred by the Institute since 1943 on those who have met the education, experience, and ethics requirement. To each of you being honored today, I'd like to make the following recommendations. First, although the phrase lifelong learner may seem overused, the spirit of the term is still relevant in today's world. Continue learning throughout your working life. It will enable you to maintain the high level of technical competence expected from a risk and insurance professional and a CPCU in particular. By earning your designation, you've achieved an important goal, but professionalism doesn't stop there, nor should you. By accepting the designation, you're committing to complete institutes at least 24 hours of continuing education credits every 24 months. In this ever-changing world and business, lifelong learning is critical to remain at the top of your field. Second, exhibit actions worthy of a CPCU designee, as these are just as important as the rights and privileges that accompany holding the designation. Conduct yourself honorably and with dignity. Avoid practices that would bring dishonor or reproach to your profession or the CPCU designation. Refrain from whatever is or might appear to be commercialization or misuse of the designation. And third, become an active member of the CPCU society. Your professional society will give you access to local experts, professional friendships, continued learning, public service, and personal growth. And finally, faithfully adhere to the highest ethical standards in your business activities. As a CPCU designee, you agree to maintain the standards set by the Institute's Code of Professional Conduct. And these standards will continue to guide you as you serve others. Now, will all CPCUs please raise your right hand? And we ask that you, that these new CPCUs and all CPCUs publicly affirm your professional commitment to technical competence and ethical behavior. Repeat after me, please. As a CPCU,
As a CPCU,
CPCU,
I shall strive at all times.
I
I shall strive at all times
to live by the highest standards of professional conduct.
to live
by the
the
highest standards of professional conduct. I shall strive to ascertain.
I shall strive to ascertain
And understand the needs of others.
and understand
the needs of others. And place their interests above my own.
and place their interests above my own.
And I shall strive to maintain and uphold.
And I shall strive to maintain
and uphold a standard of honor and integrity.
standard of honor and integrity
That will reflect credit upon my profession.
that will reflect
credit
upon
my
profession.
And on the CPCU designation.
And
on the CPCU designation.
Ladies and gentlemen, congratulations to all the new CPCU designees. Thank you very much, and congratulations all.
Woo!
Thank you.
And with that, I'll turn it back over to Laura.
And I'm going to turn it over to Terrence.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, Terrence.
Hi, good morning. My name is Terrence Harvey. I'm one of the chapter leaders here at the North CPCU chapter. Shouts to my chapter. Wanting to congratulate the new designees here at I-Day, 52nd I-Day, excuse me, in North Jersey. And you know, this hard work and dedication is not going unnoticed. And you can take a big sigh of relief. I know in 2019, I was so happy to hear those that oath and take that relief because I know the tests, the CPCU tests were done. I want to give a special shout to all the parents, I was a parent, all the husbands, all the wives, people in relationships that had to go through this journey and had to sacrifice a lot of time away because, you know, with obtaining this, you have to be dedicated. And it was really tough. But you're here, and I would like to thank all of y'all especially because, you know, it's really hard. My career started at 18. I was a file clerk at a medical malpractice company in New York City. And I had my file cart, and I would go to each desk every day just looking to soak in information. And those opportunities landed me right into the Blue Book in 2018 when I took my first course for my CPCU. And like a lot of people started, it was all about, I just want to get through, you know, I don't have no time for this, you know, just give me this designation so I can move further into my career. I want to better serve my insureds. I want to get all this information. And I rushed through my first test. And the first test resulted in a fail. I did it about a couple of weeks and I said, I'm ready. 60 to 69. And that's when the learning started. From there, I realized that this is not a game. This is not a race to the finish line. You have to really apply yourself if you want to go out and really help the insurance industry. From there, I really took my CPCU learning to the next level. My family was a tremendous help. And I credit my super cheerleader. If you see me on the social networks, my daughter was my biggest cheerleader, tough on me. After I felt that first test, I remember driving her to school. And she said, Daddy, you better get 100. I said, you tell me to get 100 on my spelling test, you better get 100. And I was like, 100? Can I just get a passing grade? But that was the encouragement I needed. I did score 90, 100 percentile my first test. And 8 months later, I did go on to finish my designation. And I was really excited. One of the things that I remember was taking the 540, the beast, as they call it, underground. It was really tough. And I talked about it a lot to her and to my family. I just got to pass the beast. I want to pass the beast by December 2018, before Christmas. I just don't want it to be in my mind. And when I passed the test right on the last day for the testing window, my daughter left a video message on my iPad. And she said, my daddy worked real hard for this exam, the beast, and he passed the beast. And I'm so happy for him. And I'm so proud of him. When he sees this message, he's going to be so happy that I left this message for him. And later on, I wondered why she left that message. For every test I passed, and this is not an endorsement for Krispy Kreme, but for every test I passed, I would come through the door with Krispy Kreme. That was my sign that I passed the test. I would never tell her. I would just come through the door. So every time I opened that door, she would run. She wouldn't even ask about the test. She'll see the donuts and say, you know what, Daddy passed the test. So that was our thing. And we even do it now. When she passed her test, now I got to get donuts for her. And it started from not even knowing what insurance meant as an 8, 9-year-old to now trying to insure everything. She looks at a broken tree, fell down. Daddy, is that insurance? She's giving me dolls that's broken. Daddy, can I insure these dolls? and for the future, that's what you want. That's how it starts. And being a role model to her and my family, my wife, she goes in and she's in corrections and things are going on. And I just tapped into every family member with every course, and it helped me push through. So to my new designees, I just want to leave you with 3 things that I hope can help you as you further your career. 1, as Sharon said, never stop learning. Never stop learning. After I obtained my CPCU designation, I started looking at other designations to say, hey, that's only a test or 2 away. Well, let me get that. A lot of people said, hey, Terrence, you talk well. You should be a broker. I said, well, what's this broker stuff about? I looked over there and said, you know what? I passed my designation. This is just going to be a walk in the park. I'm going to go get my broker's license as well. And it just helps to know more. It's good to be in a conversation. And when in terms and phrases come up, you can say, I know that. You know, I sat at one of my meetings with my company and they talked about the combined ratio. And the line was, well, if you don't know it, don't worry about it. And a few CPCUs in the meeting looked at each other and smiled because now we understood what a combined ratio was. And it's just really good. Number 2 is to volunteer. Volunteer is very important. Whether you volunteer, you know, within your community, volunteer with your local chapter, please volunteer. Lend a hand. Get all that information that you have and help others. Be a mentor. Go out and assist. I wouldn't be here talking to you today if I didn't join my local chapter as a candidate and now as a chapter leader. And to be at the table with a lot of execs, being an underwriter makes me feel good because in my own profession, I don't get to sit at these meetings. I don't get to talk to such prestigious individuals. And I get to sit here and I created this whole website for the I-Day. And I didn't think I can even do it, but the CPCU Society helps you and they encourage you. I have so many friends, which is now my family, that help encourage me every step of the way. So please join your local chapter, volunteer, lend a helping hand in the world. We all need it. You see what's going on. We can use a lot of positive individuals in the world. And finally, pay it forward. Pay it forward. There was a lot of people behind the scenes that encouraged me, especially when I felt my VP was my proctor at the office. So imagine being excited to take the first course and going to fail your first course in front of your VP. When I failed, now he received his designation in '94. He opened up the blue book, the new blue book, because at that time they was doing essays. He opened up the blue book and I had a problem with standard deviation. He sat through the whole chapter and took countless hours with me to make me understand, excuse me. I understood it already, but he just sat there and just listened to me talk about it. And I really appreciate it. After that, he kept, do you need any help? Oh, no, I have it now. So every test was in front of him and he saw my commitment to learning more. And as soon as I got it, if you saw me on a Facebook group, the CPCU Facebook group, I'm always online encouraging, even after the designation, encouraging others. And it's very important because we need the insurance industry to go on for years to come, 100 years, 200 years. And it starts with encouraging others. So now you have this information, you need to go ahead and pay it forward. And I would like to pass it off to Keeson Dingle. And Keeson, I met in 2019 as a new designee. And I remember having a conversation with him and he said, hey, I'm looking to go to the annual meeting, which is now Into Risk. And he said, hey, what do you think about it? I said, man, you should go down, you should submit and tell your story. And when he hit that stage at the annual meeting and told his story, I looked at that man and said, he's going to be one of the future leaders of the insurance industry. I would like to congratulate, all the new designees. Enjoy this moment. And I hope to see you at the next Into Risk Leadership Conference or any annual meeting. So Keeson, take it away, man.
Thank you, Terrence. I appreciate your beautiful introduction and hearing your story again. Gets me excited. Well, hi everybody, my name is Keeson Dingle, right? I'm an underwriter at Westchester Binding, a Chubb company, and I'm a 2019 CPCU designee and spokesperson. CPCU has been wonderful for me. I mean, I'm so glad to be here and I had the experiences and it just feels surreal every time I get to be able to talk to people in the industry, you know? So I just want to share a little bit about my story and where I came from and about myself. So I'm from Jersey City, New Jersey, born and raised. I played football most of my life and I wanted to go to school to play football in Pennsylvania, and my freshman year I got lucky, whereas I was walking through the student center and my buddy noticed that the cafe was empty. And I'm like, yeah, it is weird. But they had a recruiting coordinator from my previous employer out recruiting, and nobody was talking to the recruiter. So even though it was empty, but nobody was really walking past. So I decided to go over and see, you know, what's going on at this booth. It was great to see that, like, it was a personal experience where I could have a one-on-one with like a recruiting coordinator. And I took advantage of that. And we had a nice conversation about the company. Like she said, you can come join our company and you can get business experience. They had a basketball court and a gym, free lunch, and no dress code. And it's paid. So I'm like, wow, like when do I start? You know, she didn't have to sell me too much, but those are some things that really got me excited. I'm like, wow, is this real? Is this happening? So she told me to send my resume over. I sent my resume in, and the rest was history. So my freshman year in my spring semester, I had an internship with an insurance company, and I started out in personal lines, and then every year they would rotate me. So I went from personal lines to the customer service center to professional lines, and finishing up at policy issuance, which is like issuing the policies and everything, and then working up my way to underwriting assistant, and finally getting to underwriter. So I've been in the industry for over 5 years, and it's been a great 5 years. And then in 2018, I started my journey where I can probably say that I was elected to be the CPCU spokesperson after I handed them my story. It's a competition on LinkedIn that I ended up winning. And I think it was exciting for me because I had decided in 2018 in the fall to go for my CPCU because I feel as though everybody in my office that was a leader, they had the CPCU. So that's what kind of got me intrigued to get started. And in the fall 2018, I started that journey and I said, I'm gonna dedicate myself no matter what. Every month, I'm gonna take a test. And that's what I did. So I finished in 8 months and it was a great experience. And then I was on stage and was able to talk to everybody in the industry and that really changed my life. I was able to meet so many people in the industry and network, and it was so like just so feel so good because like I was able to see outside of my own silo of a company. You know, I was at a smaller company and then get to talk to people from different companies and different positions and different titles and different levels really helped, you know, open my eyes to like the insurance industry has so much to offer and there's so much opportunity. You know, you just gotta go out and get after it. So after my the CPCU conference, I decided to, you know, keep going. I ended up getting 6 more designations like the ARE, like the ARC, the AIAF, like just continuously learning just different things I can know because I wanted to truly master the insurance industry so I can know everything, every facet of it. And I know how hard it was to get the CPCU. So, you know, I feel like everything else was easier. Once you get through the CPCU, like that's like the main, you know, main animal. So once you get past that, like you can pick up the other tests rather easily. So there's nothing as hard as, for me, you know, everybody says CPCU 540, but business law to me was pretty tough. That was not my favorite section. It's just maybe because law wasn't like my passion or anything. So it's like, it's tough to really get in deep with the details. There's so much details. Whereas in school, I took a business major, so it was a little bit easier. So yeah, so in this past year, as I said, I've had a lot of opportunities to speak at different, you know, society meetings. I spoke at the Reinsurance Symposium. I got to speak at a college at the University of Denver, Colorado, because of a CPCU connection I made at Into Risk. Yeah, I mean, it was great for me. I feel like that's the power of the CPCU. You know, the networking, as Patrick Schultz was saying earlier, you could tap into any network. You know, you can make a phone call or, you know, ask any question. Got involved with interest groups like the risk management interest group, you know, an underwriting interest group. And I'd say just best way to get your brand out there, just get involved. And that's what I did. Just kept getting involved, kept raising my hand, kept putting my face out there. You know, I market a lot on LinkedIn. Yeah, because I feel like this opportunity has been blessed for me to receive because I got tapped on the shoulder to get a part of the Emerging Leaders Committee. So I was able to take that and really get to promote the CPCU brand even more. So it's been great for me. And I feel as though anybody that worked this hard to get the CPCU, you know, use that and leverage that for your success, you know, and even talk about it even further. The CPCU has leveraged me to even get to the position I'm at Chubb. You know, I had a connection through CPCU, through marketing LinkedIn, and got reached out for opportunity at Chubb. And I was able to take that and leverage my experience in my CPCU to get me a new position and title, which was amazing for me and in my life at that moment. So yeah, CPCU, as I said, changed my life, and I feel as though it'll do the same for everybody. Couple of things I wanted to say, you know, some key takeaways for CPCU: just network and take opportunities. You know, don't disregard something just because you don't know how to do it. Just do it. You know, you figure out the rest later. You know, learn, you'll get better, and then once you get better, you'll start to develop those skills to better yourself. Lifetime learning, that's a big thing we talk about. You continuously sharpen your skills, you know, make sure you're knowledgeable about things because you want to make sure you're credible and you're trustworthy. You know, knowledge is the best way to show that off. And get involved with your local chapters and interest groups. You know, you can always reach out to me, reach out to Michael K. Elaine, George, a lot of people have different interest groups that can really help enhance your skills or development even more in your local chapters. So I think reaching out to those people in your local chapters can really help you get some leadership opportunities. You know, we was discussing an emerging leaders committee how one of our leaders, she used her volunteer experience outside the office and leveraged her to an executive position where she was just volunteering, having that leadership experience outside the office. So it was easy to talk about and leverage that experience to get her to the next level inside her own office, which is great to hear from me, because it's like, wow, like it's very possible, you know, you maybe get on a presidency on a board, you know, outside your office, and then you can say, when a position opens up for your company, you can like, this is the reason why I think I'm a good candidate for this position. So just those things right there show me that it's possible, that you need to take advantage of all the opportunities and just get after it. And I love what the CPCU has done for me. And I feel as though everybody should be very proud of the accomplishments. You know, we here, you made it through 2020, which was a hard year for the world. And it's been great. I just want to say thank you, everybody, for listening to me. And you can follow me on LinkedIn. My name is Keeson Dingle again. And congrats again to all the 2020 new designees. Thank you. And I pass the mic to Sharon. Here you go.
Actually, I think it goes back to Patrick. I just want to say thank you, because it's a great opportunity to be here with everyone, my home state originally. So you guys are awesome. And if there's anything I can do for you all, please let me know. Patrick?
All right. Thanks, Sharon, Kason, Terrence. Those stories are awesome. They're inspiring. You know, the resilience to push through barriers, to overcome obstacles, to complete some of these tests. Some of these tests, there's a Facebook group out there for the new designees that are taking all the tests. And it's funny, they always talk about the 5 4. So, you know, there's so much opportunity, as Terrence and Kason were saying, to expand your network, to take on leadership roles, to expand your scope of influence in ways that you might not be ready for at your current job. You might not have had the opportunity yet. So again, get involved, ask questions, you know, follow everyone on social media. There's so much community networking information available. Everyone here is willing to help, willing to educate. You know, pay it forward, like Terrence said, and educate the next generation. I did see some of our people from Ryder on the call. So, you know, it's a great takeaway for all the students. There's so much goodness that comes out of this industry. And, you know, we'd love to have everyone join us in their future careers. So thank you, everyone, for joining us.